Take it away, guys.
Wow. I'm impressed.
I mean, I see where he's going with that one,
impressed.
but you know, he's going over old ground. He's done it before. It's not a new one. Back in, what was it, Pro League Season 2, I think it was, with the really hot one when it was ridiculously warm here.
Ah, the 50-degree day.
Yeah, that was the one.
The crucible.
Hot.
All of us who survived that fateful weekend came out stronger. Right.
That was a warm weekend, but the new look Dignitas apparently on Inferno. Okay, we'll see what they have up their sleeves against G2. Personally, for me, I think G2 will take it 2-0. As they said, you got to feel it Overpass, especially after Dignitas is showing against Navi yesterday on Overpass. That was a backhanded slap straight to the face. But G2... Well, they showed good resolve yesterday with their comeback against SK from what was a 12-3 first half.
Exactly, 12-3 first half, and they gave up one round. They took 13 rounds in the second half. It's like, okay, not bad, guys. And G2 have always been a pretty solid all-around. What a shot from Rubino, though. All right, well, mid-air headshot from Rubino, but then RPK and Smiths right back into the action. They managed to pick him off. MSL now trying to pull a fast one here on RPK. It's just not going to happen. This is the thing, is that G2... If I can actually finish my sentence now, they've always been a very solid Inferno team. They've always been comfortable on it.
See,
so
I mean, I see what they're doing with the defense. They've split 1-1, but right now with a 2-on-4, you may as well just try and stack a site. Surely. Like, Kiebi is trying to search for information. Tensky's about to come up against 4 people coming up mid. I was about to say, if he can land the first one, it could work out well for him, and he almost got the second. He's going to back into apartments. Can he catch Shox as he bounces around the corner? No, he can't. He's going to have to back away. Kiebi hurtling his way up mid to try and help out, but he's going to be a little bit too late, and that plant will be coming down. And Kiebi instantly slows his pace as Smith goes to plant the bomb.
Yeah, he's actually taking so long with this. And now that he's been spotted as well. Nice headshot. Nearly gets the flick as well. He was so close to taking out RPK there. Tags the wall instead, and now it's a 1v2. This is feasible for him. If he reloads the RPK, he's poised to pounce on him immediately. So Kiebi's in a bit of a tight spot. Doesn't have a whole lot of bullets to work with, and he just needs to find that one headshot, turn this into a 1v1.
Oh, he's going to have to back away. He landed the tag on Smiths straight away on sight. The little flick managed to catch on towards him. RPK used to playing in pit. That is his defensive spot, and he does come out on top. In the end, G2 got a little closer than it possibly needed to, but that is the danger of the USPS. Once you land those instant headshots, whittle them down. But again, if they'd have just double stacked that, they could have maybe slowed them down in their tracks. But G2 not messing around, getting those SMGs in hand. We're also going to get an AK from Existence in there. So, okay. Deagles across the board for Dignitas. Okay, can those 1Ds work?
Yeah, that's what they went for yesterday, isn't it? So, I mean... As far as Dignitas are concerned, this is all about just getting those one shots. Exactly. Scream is going to be able to pick up the headshot on MSL. That's what we expect from Scream.
Everybody.
And there's Rubino. Rubino is looking pretty feisty right now with the pistols.
Well, Tensky is hoping he can relive Happy's dream right there, but not able to work out for him. That epic moment as he manages to catch on towards him. But Smiths and RPK still trying to challenge it. Shox does find config with the MAC-10 though. That's all the way over at apartments, and the bomb is making its way back there. Smith has been the distracting force while RPK pushes in. Shox is continuing to try and make ground. It is Rubino's the only man on A site currently to try and challenge this, but he's managed to get himself into pit.
Yeah, this isn't too shabby. It's a good headshot kind of angle to play from. So if G2 actually walk into this, there's a little bit of danger for them. They are grouping up G2. That's the smart play to go for here in this anti-eco sort of situation. Get that buddy system going. That's what they did in the pistols as well, yeah. You know, just the last round to overwhelm Tensky. But now Smith's just crouching in, and Rubino misses the first shot. Now the game is up. He gets caught by Shoxy. Tensky just trying to take that fight straight up in the middle of nowhere. He's going to get railed by Smiths, and it's just going to be down to Kiebi now. Again, rotating in from that B side alone. He's got the Corinthian skin, though, so it's all right.
That's going to help him in his journey. Who knows? Maybe he'll be able to manage to wake his way through. Just wants to get one of those exits. Maybe pick up the AK. Smiths has got that. That would be all he could hope for right now. I mean, he's got armor, so the SMGs, unless they do manage to land those dinks on the head, he has a good chance at challenging one, but it does look like they're all going to sit in the back of pit. There we go. Gets RPK. He's happy. He's going to back away, and G2 just going to sit in the back of pit and survive.
Super sick. That's all he was hoping for. That's all he was waiting for, was just one more kill. Make sure that they kill off 3 for G2. Somebody has to drop in the next round. Somebody's going to take that hit economically. And then Kiebi gets to hold on to his Kevlar for the next round along with that Deeg, so he's going to be a threat. Very nicely done there. That's the proper way to play it, because just running in, YOLOing in, you're not going to get, you're not going to be able to deal with the Triangle of Doom on the A side of Inferno. You're just not going to get all the kills. So, Kirby, Rubino, both of them hitting shots right now, and hopefully they're going to be able to keep doing that, because it's keeping G2 on their toes. G2, they're like, yeah, okay, pistol went our way, but it was a little bit close at the end. This last round, a little bit close. You know, you just don't want to allow this French team to build the confidence.
Existence, who went for the AK in the second round, has been forced to go back to Deagle. Trying to make himself a little bit of bank here. Smiths obviously wants to build up towards that AWP. Didn't have the most successul time on the AWP yesterday, actually. Smiths, though, going to be careful here. Scream a little slow to move into apartments. Does manage to get himself the double-up boiler, though, on MSL and Config, and continuing to make himself that bank. And of course, this is an easy setup now. Dignitas just going to sit down the bottom of mid. And Existence hoping he can get lucky with some of those 1Ds. It's more like about 20 Ds right now. Did he just catch Scream twice in the back?
I think so. Scream has got to be a little careful now. It's like, Existence, you're my leader. What have I done to deserve this punishment?
The French Revolution in a whole new style. Kirby, or can he survive 2 rounds running? That's the question. Scream actually is pretty low, and he's going to be the first to challenge him as he comes around this corner. Actually, nicely done. Shox is going to come double-timed on him. They just managed to get Scream down. Can he get a second? Yes, he can, and Shox goes down. Suddenly it's getting expensive. RPK is going to challenge in. He's not going to fall out quite so foolishly. And G2 do hang on, but Kirby continuing to make that economic impact on G2.
Oh, dude, Kirby, let's see a game where you go ham, bro, because there was a long time, there was a time when he was coming up, when he was called Little Device, because he had such a crazy impact in the game, same as when Device was really young. I mean, Kirby is one of the younger players in the scene, the pro players in the scene right now. He dropped out of high school in order to focus on CS full-time, and so he's been with Dignitas for quite some time now, and there's always been this kind of like this pall hanging over him where online he seems to be hitting some crazy shots, but when it came to crunch time, when it came to land, he never really showed up. Hopefully we're going to start seeing him, you know, get over whatever mental block he developed, you know, in the past year. I mean, start really hitting those shots again.
I guess, I mean, if you look across Dignitas, it's the whole team of like potentials in there. Rubino certainly had his time where he could come through. Config, the new guy that's coming through, can he deliver on LAN? And obviously Kirby in there, who's been around, like you say, for about a year now. Kirby, the man is going to be a challenge. He should be able to get himself a double. Could make it a triple, and he does. As G2 run into the grinder down Banana. Tensky is left alone now, but G2, they realize they've made some serious mistakes. They may have to try and push through the smoke, but look at Dignitas. They're making the rope-a-dope. MSL round the back, little bit too close for comfort there. And Shox and Smiths left hanging in the wind.
And all of that off of a faulty nade. Gets caught in the car somehow, gets caught in the grill or whatever it was. Doesn't go off in Kirby's face. Instead, it actually full flashed, you know, 3 of the G2 guys. So maybe some miscommunication there on G2's part. How do you? It's like that one nade cost them 3 guys.
It must have clipped the ledge of the porch or something like that.
Oh, there's that. It probably went through the window of the car and just landed in the car or something like that. Because that's, you know, a little awkward. Womp womp. But I mean, still. Big spray down, good control there by Kirby. I was wondering if Dignitas at the beginning were going to have like more of a focus on B, because G2, you know, they've gone A 3 times. So, you know, G2 are obviously conditioning, you know, Dignitas to think, hey, we're going to keep hitting A, but when are we going to go B, right? And it turns into that guessing game where MSL, he's going to make that call eventually. Easy situation for Team Dignitas to handle at the end. 4-on-2 situation. There was no way for Smiths and the other to get anything done there. So that's the kind of solid round that you need out of Dignitas, and basically individual performance making up for it, because Dignitas didn't exactly go for aggressive B, like an aggressive banana hold on CT side.
It was good information gathering as well. Tensky had pushed all the way down Banana, so he gave Config enough of a warning to say, yeah, they're coming your way, buddy. They've just gone around the top of mid, about to come around the corner. So Dignitas get themselves that first rifle round, an important one. Now let's see what they can clock up here on the CT side. Can they keep G2 at bay? They can, of course, find themselves right back in there. They've got a whole stack of mollies. But it's a deep Banana defense for Dignitas. Kirby and Tensky pushing deep down there. Getting that smoke down. It's almost trademark these days for any team that can get their economy going, just to sit this deep. And it just cuts off so much of the map for G2.
Yeah. Since the extra 10 seconds have come into the rounds, we saw teams start to move away from this. Now it's more of like a situational play, right? Because you have that extra 10 seconds, and so do you want to use your smoke nades that aggressively so early? You know, that's the kind of trade-off that you're wondering about. Because right now, all they're going to do, G2, is just sit and wait, and eventually you're going to run out of smokes. And they have that extra 10 seconds to play with now as well, so it gets a little tricky. You gotta play very patiently if you're Dignitas at this point, and decide when it is time to back off to the top of Banana.
I I think MSL just going for that shot round the corner. You saw Existence like freeze. It's like
so they're going
took
for
the
a
shot
trap
and
now.
completely missed. But yeah, it's the wraparound. It's going in towards Arch. MSL's going to take himself a second chance. Tries to, doesn't even go for a chance peek there, but Scream still manages to find him through the smoke and just happens upon it. Rubino is actually going to come around the back of them in Banana. Tensky's the man that's in trouble. He's tucked himself in the back of Dark or Emo, whichever country, continent you are on. You may call it a different name. Tensky's going to challenge, gets himself the first one of Smiths, but that gives his information away. But it's bought beautifully for Rubino to come around the tide. Good quick reactions from Scream, but Config with the spray down. Catches on towards him. RPK gets taken out and Shocks now the last man standing, but the bomb is with Config and he's smoked off. He's pushed through the smoke and Config didn't even check.
He finally realized. Oh no, but he's stepping. Shoxy hears. There's no way! Shoxy with 2 seconds left.
God.
Config. As soon as you get that smoke down. Ah, such a shame. All he had to do was back off and survive. There was no way for Shoxy to win the round other than get that kill.
Yeah, there was 2 ways he could play it. Well, there was like 5-6 seconds left by the time he pushed through the smoke. He could have stood and wait and it's like, okay, I'm going to catch him as he comes through the smoke.
Yeah.
Or just run the hell away. And he kind of like half choose between the two, and obviously probably a call from his team. He's like, run, 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 run.
Probably, I mean, he's probably just so focused he didn't notice the time.
Yeah.
And like how it was playing out. But that's painful. That was a loss for sure. I mean, that was a win for sure, rather for Dignitas, a loss for G2. But somehow Shoxy, he comes through, catches Config at the bottom of Banana, and well, now it's a bit of a touch and go situation here for Team Dignitas, and well, it just keeps getting worse. Sick mid take here from G2, and now they have all the options. They're just going to wrap straight onto A, and it's all on Config. The young, the new player here for Dignitas, basically. I mean, relatively new as far as CSGO is concerned, considering like his big performance that got him on the map was DreamHack London.
Tensky's going to try and push on around Library. Config's with him. They really just want to get some exits. Oh, but Smiths has managed to find, I think the smoke just cleared. I was looking at the mini-map as Config got taken down. So Tensky all alone just wants to back out and hope he can get anything. But look at G2. Just look at the health bars. Barely a scratch across the board from G2. Exploding up the top of mid. And Dignitas just slow to react there. Or more importantly, didn't have the weaponry to react.
This was a force buy out of Dignitas as well, so it's far from ideal. Tensky basically just should be backing off. Like, don't even try and get economic damage in here because you really aren't going to... It's not going to have an impact. You're not going to get 3 kills, right? So make sure you hold on to your guns because it's going to be an eco in the next round for Dignitas. G2 getting up to 5 rounds now on their T side at the beginning of the half. And this is where there's just an enormous amount of pressure that's going to start mounting on Dignitas because this is still a pretty CT-sided map.
You look at it, yeah, minimum probably 7 or 8 rounds now, G2, you'd assume.
They're going full tilt right now. They're going full tilt because, you know, it's Config. If Config wins that round, then they shift everything their way, and it's G2 who are scrabbling to get, you know, some kind of momentum going. Losing that round pretty much cost them almost
Okay, they've gone for a 5-man stack here on towards A site, and G2 actually coming at the top of mid, straight into it. MSL just off the side of Cubby. Where's the rifle? Tensky is the man with the rifle. He's actually sitting in apartments, so it's going to be the pistols that will challenge. Config and MSL cut down with ease, but they do manage to get one. Tensky trying to come through, but can't hold them at bay. Gets found out very easily by Smith. So suddenly Kiebi, the only man standing. So, well, they stacked it in the right place. They guessed the right time, but they just couldn't get the shots off. And as you'd expect with the AKs, it's how it should work out, but often does not.
And it's another force here for Dignitas. Light on the nades. They have to skimp on helmets. Config doesn't even have enough for a kit, does he?
We may get...
Yeah, he has to actually skimp fully on nades to be able to pick up that kit.
We may get James Bond from MSL.
Well, there's also Existence, I think, who doesn't have a kill, right?
Is that right?
Yeah, Existence is...
Oh, but he's got the one. He's got the one
assist.
He's got He's saved. He's saved.
He's got the one assist. But yeah, you're right. We're on the edge of a James Bond for MSL.
And considering he's rocked the AWP for 2 rounds, I think he did. It's not the best of times for him. Big important purchase here, though. Smiths and Existence are over on Banana. Meanwhile, Shocks we see here exploding his way through. Skips past the molly. Burns through.
And now they should be feeling really comfortable, G2. They've got top Banana. They've cleared that out, so they know they have that to work with. Now they've through apartments. They're going to be getting that top mid control next, and then they can just go wherever the hell they want on the map. Full control. Although Rubino he steps up. Only the 1 kill, though, but he drops RPK down to 1 HP. That's not good enough, though. RPK, he's still alive, so they still have that smoke and molly to work with off of him, so...
Tensky on the rotate. He's come across into Arch. MSL, meanwhile, onto site and Config back in pit. G2 sticking with the A hit. Existence is hanging around. Now, MSL's going to go for peak. This could be perfect. He will find Existence. Can transition onto Smiths. Couldn't manage to get the spray control down. Tensky still in Cubby. Have they got the mollies? They got no molly to check this one, so instead they're going to have to brute force it, and he manages to pop out, gets himself a double, the damage done. Shock's now all alone. He's got the bomb, moves in towards Pit, and Config finds him. And Dignitas come out on top and get themselves a second round on the board.
Oof. Way too close for comfort here, D-Man. It's not looking... it's just these weird situations where G2 keep getting caught in double sprays sort of scenarios. Real awkward.
Rubino's start really set the pattern there for Dignitas. It's that they're getting them doubles, or
See,
almost
guys,
doubles.
This is why you practice your spray. You know? This is why you got to get those spray transfers down. You got to get good at it. Because all these moments keep coming up here for Dignitas to get those doubles, and they just kept getting singles up until the very end there to finally pull ahead. But this time they're changing it up, Dignitas. Instead of going for the full banana control, because again, they're a little light on the nades, they're just going to throw a smoke up at Car. Doesn't seem like G2 is going to be having too much fun here.
Will the flash land in the right place this time? Kiebi
This
got himself a triple.
It'll go over his shoulder. It'll go over his shoulder, exactly.
He got flashed in, and it was Tensky that flashed him in, but couldn't manage to find too much. Got a little tag onto RPK in existence, that's about it.
Yeah, that's... he got flashed in, but if G2 threw that flash, it was going to go over Kirby's shoulder, so that he wouldn't have been flashed. So they would have charged right into him, and he would have traded at least 1-for-1. But with Tensky not there to back him up at the CT angle, that would have been a 1-for-1, and I don't know if that would have been enough for him to make it worthwhile.
He used a double molly to try and flush Kirby out, but he'd already hit and run, so it's Dignitas running the resources down of G2, but they don't have any smokes left now. And they've just sat with a couple of flashes and the molly on Config over in Pit. So G2 chosen the right angle here. Rubino once again in quad, along with MSL. So double stacking quad. I'm not sure whether they're going to expect the double stacking quad, because you normally have a split into apartments, and that's working out well with Rubino managing to get the second. Can he? Yes, he will. Existence goes down, and the damage being done here. Look how low G2 are. Scream and Smiths so low, but they're pushing in onto Config.
Now it's all down to the man on apartments, but Config is going to be able to back out from behind pillar. This is all about a headshot angle, and he's playing it so awkward. Not going to play at all. Shoxy just pummels him into the ground. 9 seconds left and they get that bomb plant. Somehow, Dignitas, they keep doing the damage, but they aren't getting the kills.
Complete misread of Config there. Totally expecting him to flank left and just totally pulling his aim wildly. Well, Kirby is going to get clocked out by Shox, and now Tensky all alone once again. That's that B solo rotator. And again, he's forced to back away and try and hold on to his weapon. So economy totally broken for Dignitas once again here. Win around, lose it straight back. This is not going to help their cause on the CT side at all.
No, this is a catastrophe so far. There we go. Well, at least Tensky manages to drop them down to 2. But again, I mean, it's just like these small victories. But they're like, you know, they're falling away, right? They're retreat actions. I don't know how it's called again, but like they keep falling away basically, and just getting these like very small victories. But that's not changing the fact that G2 have 7 rounds T side on Inferno. And Dignitas are only sitting on 2, and they get their money wrecked again. Like this couldn't be better for G2 as far as the economy control is. They're just making sure that Dignitas, CT side Inferno, that's why, you know, it's such a CT side map, is once you get control and establish your economy on the CT side, you have all of this money for the nades, and so you have these choke points with the smokes and the incendiaries stacked up together. You're never able to get the ball rolling as T side. You just have to kind of hope that you can break that economy to really start getting some momentum, like we see here with G2. 3 rounds in a row, they let Dignitas win, and then they reset them for another 3 rounds.
Looks like Existence might be flashing Smiths in here. Instead, he's going to get back to wait. Flashed in Kirby for Tensky. And wisely do choose to back away, but that's one of the few smokes they have remaining that's already gone down. A second one just got thrown to the top of mid, so Config the only man standing with a minute 13 on the clock. That's a long old time to have just one smoke sitting in your back pocket. And Kirby's actually chose to rotate, so they've left Tensky alone at the top of Banana, and that's, if you look at the minimap, not a good place to be right now.
No, he's going to die. He picks up the 1. Gets the second. Okay, he's making it interesting here. He has to go back to the pistol. That moment's hesitation is going to cost him, but he's done some damage. Rubino takes out Shox in the meantime. That was over on the A side, so it's going to be down to the 2 remaining players here for G2. They get up onto the site. They're going to get it. They should, yeah. RPK is going to go for a standard plant, but just take your time, Dignitas. Breathe. You just need to pace yourself, because Scream doesn't know that the second man is there in Banana. So this all comes down to timing now for these guys. Can they close in and catch RPK out?
Well timed by the smoke there. Scream catching Rubino, but RPK does get taken out now. Scream off the side towards Banana, clocked out, didn't manage to land the shot. And Kirby got impatient, tried to chase it down. I don't think he had a kit, actually, so he had to really push the position. But, well, G2 down to one man, despite Dignitas' force buy there. But now they're in trouble once again. You can see they've got not a great deal. P250s is all they can really go for in a 5-7, so pretty much broken Dignitas' economy. And a 9-2, 9 rounds on the T side already potentially for G2 here is going to be impressive. And look, they've gone for the SMGs. They know what's coming. They're just going to try and run and plow through Dignitas. Dignitas trying to answer the same in kind, but as you would expect, up against rifles, it's very much a simple round for G2. 9-2, here we go, Dignitas. What can they do? They really have to pick this round up or they're in desperate troubles. And considering Overpass is the next map, which they had a 16-3 result against Na'Vi yesterday, this is not looking good for them right now.
Yeah, they're shaping up. Oh man, team damage going out. Yeah. A little bit of a shank there. Love tap on existence.
Is that because he's still on 0? No, he's on 2. He got 2 in the eco.
He got two in the last round. The MP7. So he's broken it, and MSL's got 2 as well. So at least MSL isn't on the James Bond. Kirby again trying to take advantage of that position. It's a decoy. They're not 3. There's 3 on A, 2 on B. So it's basically as standard as could be here for Dignitas. Just a little bit of an angle there for Kirby, who's trying to abuse, but now G2 have shown themselves. They know that they've at least tagged up one guy at top banana, but it does seem like they want to focus on A for now. Again, with the incendiaries, good use of the... I mean, just make sure that when you have the advantage in your utility, you're making good use of it. And that's exactly what we're going to see here. Big smoke execute coming out onto the A site.
MSL's forced to back away around CT Arch. He's actually tucked himself in the corner, not in library, just in the corner. You can see him in there. It could work out well for him, and he will be able to get behind them, but he just can't land his shots. And when you have basically a free shot lined up for you like that, you have to take it. Well, Kirby and Tensky, I don't think they're going to be able to do anything on the retake here. They're just going to back away. Try and keep hold of those weapons, because again, Dignitas, they just can't get their economy booming. They have got a 3-round lost mechanic coming in, but everybody invested fully in that round, so they're not going to be able to have a great deal. Tensky just gets that single on shocks, but this is already 10 rounds for G2. And well, we were talking about communications. Dignitas, one of those teams that goes quiet in these situations, and it may well be happening right now. The fact that MSL himself, who tends to be the in-game leader, I believe, for Dignitas,
Yes.
is having a bad game himself. We saw him missing the AWP shots very early on. Could well be compounding that.
Well, it's a problem that it's just frustrating moment after frustrating moment for Dignitas. That's the main thing. Like MSL in that last round, he played that really well. He was in a big off angle. Oh. Wow, Smith catches out Tensky at the end. They can't catch a break here, Dignitas. But he turns away from the flashes, right? So he knows what's coming, and he manages to time it right. It's just that he chooses the wrong target to go for. And so that's, that's like the story of Dignitas right now. If it weren't for Kirby, at least getting a few of the deagle shots, we wouldn't actually have much to talk about when it comes to Dignitas, because they just really haven't been able to get the ball rolling at all.
Look at that. I mean, Kirby's on 8 kills, and I think he had 6 of those in the first 3 rounds, just with those deagle plays and such like. So it really is a struggle right now. Rubino trying to get that molly down, hoping that somebody would have pushed the angle and maybe locked them out there. But it wasn't to be, unfortunately. And Nade does do a bit of damage on Banana. And actually, Kirby going aggressive, but he just runs headlong into Smith's SMG, and he gets himself banged for his buck there as he clocks 1,200 in the bank. And certainly, while MSL's decided to push through, it's just desperation mode for Dignitas. They're trying anything, just try some of those Yahoo plays.
They know that they're doomed.
Yeah, this is... It's not pretty.
No,
well,
I don't know.
It's pretty if you're a G2 fan, that's for sure. Ocelot's sitting at home rubbing his hands right now. He's thinking, this is great.
I can take this. I'm happy. I accept. But yeah, it's they are like Dignitas at this point. They're like nearly mentally checked out of this game. It isn't like they just need to try and cross their fingers and hope they can get a 3rd round on the board here, CT side, and hope that they're able to do the same thing to G2. Once they get onto the T side, because when G2 have 11 rounds on T side, it's not good enough here. It's not good enough at all for Dignitas. They have such a huge lead on Dignitas on G2 to try and catch up with. So, it's just like, yeah, nothing seems to be working. It's just G2 having like really clean executes going into these sorts of rounds. Like the one on short, what was it, round 8 or 9, when they were holding 3 on short. That was really sick because G2 didn't, G2 when they go for the execute, it's like, oh wait, something's weird. They don't just like plow into it. They actually took their time and picked the defense apart, adjusted to what they were seeing, instead of just, doing what Dignitas wanted them to do, which is just run into the blender. And it's a bunch of situations like that. G2 are just on point right now.
Rubino Close. I wonder what it is for a team like Dignitas. They've had such a bad 2 weeks right now that obviously since it seems to be since they were in such a good high spirits after Barcelona. They challenged Fnatic. Suddenly it was like everything was working out for them. They went to Columbus, had a dreadful time in the qualifiers, and just since then it's just been like one thing after another. Obviously the DreamHack Malmo qualifiers, the Pro League has just not been scoring good results, and it's a serious situation. Kirby gets himself a double. Tensky hoping beyond hope that he can get anything with that UMP, just cuttering away, but it's not going to manage to get it. But Shocks in Existence, they're pretty low here. Config and Rubino, full health, so Existence is going to tuck himself in sandbags, and that finds Config as he just tries to push on through. And that was a great chance. They didn't need to rush that. We were talking about the bomb timers, the extended time. They had time. They could have just picked their moments, but both of them individually pushing through smoke. And, well, I mean, that's, like you said, mentally checked out. That's it's it right there.
Yeah, that's painful. It's painful to watch. That's just trying to force things, hoping for the hero play. A little bit of fadeaway shot there from Config. Okay, hits RPK, gets him down to 12. Not too shabby, but G2 they have all the utility, so they're going to be able to just take over Banana here if they want. Again with the car smoke from Kedri. But they have the Molotovs to be able to force him off that angle eventually. See when they decide to go for it. Scream decides to go, just decides to try and make a play in mid.
I think they've just got to that point. It's like, well, this is fairly easy. Everything we try seems to be working, so why not? Let's just try it. But MSL happy to get himself a kill there. He's been desperate for them so far in this game. Tensky and Kiebi trying to make something work here with that M4 and Mag 7. Tensky wants to get up close and personal. Tensky does pop out, gets himself one. The headshot into Smiths, and it's took them down to 2. So this is a good chance now. Remember, there was that big tag on RPK early on from Config, and that spray from MSL catches him. RPK tagged low early on, and that was the bomb carrier. Forces Shocks to back up, collect that bomb. He's going to try to actually just flash on through. Tries to catch around, gets himself one. Wasn't expecting Config, who cleverly tucked himself back in the smoke there. So 12-3, the first half score. Still a massive T-side from G2.
Yeah, this is a golden opportunity now for G2 to actually just get, because the round difference, right? They need to close this out now, get that 16-3 win. Because if they want to have a chance at the land, if it comes down to a tie situation, the difference in rounds will have an impact. So at this point, it's just like, okay, G2, lockdown. Now don't do anything too crazy here in the pistol. Just play your standard game, because you know that Dignitas are tilting hard, so they're going to try and go for something crazy. So just play your standard game and wait for them to walk into it.
They had a fairly dominant pistol as well, G2. I think it was ended up in a, was it 4-on-2, 5-on-2?
It was Rubino who got like that cool jump shot, and then pretty much just
yeah, and nothing came from after that. Yeah. Well, we'll see how it works out. G2. I mean, Existence only on the 3 kills, but it doesn't matter when the rest of his team are doing it. He's just pointing them in their direction and say, go there. And it's working out so well for him. It's often the way sometimes with the in-game leaders. I remember there was a talk of this about midway through last year. It was like, should the in-game leaders be getting the high scores or not?
Yeah, well, then Nico has something to say about that, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you have Nico, you have Dennis, I guess you could say as well these days as well. But Dennis Fnatic. No, he's not. He's Flusher, yeah. Right, he used to be in-game leader for
LGB back in the day.
Yeah. But yeah, it's working out well for them. And as it does, I remember Chad having the very same conversation on Renegade Sponge, but G2 unfortunately coming out on top once again in Dignitas. Barring Config doing something wild with his Tech 9, which he may do as RPK walks headlong into his crosshairs, and Smiths fancies the challenge here. He could have stuck around with the bomb. Config's going to collect it and run straight towards B site, and Smiths is trying to do the slow reaction. He's actually just heading straight towards where he knew Config was likely to come from. RPK, of course, got the kill there, so unfortunately, Config's going to be well aware of the direction Smiths is likely to come from. Yeah, he's guessed it very much right, and his heavy footsteps coming up is going to give Config a big advantage here. He pops out of sandbags, gets himself a big important round for Dignitas. Right, where can they go with this? Can they take the ball and run with it? Because they are going to have to run a hell of a long distance.
They can only go forward here. Yeah, man, that's all. There's no backing up now. You just got the pistol. Config clutched it this time.
We saw a 12-3 turnaround yesterday.
Exactly, right?
G2, obviously, SK would have been very happy with that start, but
should we just,
it wasn't to be.
The the new nickname, right, for G2 is going to be like the Danish Destroyers or something. If they actually just, you know, rock Team Dignitas 2-0 tonight.
Well, and Astralis, remember, on Cash. So could they get the lot? Could they get all three?
That would be pretty sick, actually.
All three in the league. Thank you very much.
Whoa, 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 RPK.
Like, come on, let's just back
Fire
straight
is
back
hot.
into it. It's like, why am I dying right now? Where is this coming from, this heat? 12-4 though. Dignitas got to be careful. Okay, there's a history with Dignitas losing 20 ecos. They've got a long and storied history. And I remember seeing papers when Pimp was on Dignitas tweeting out about it. It's like, yeah, we just don't know what it is. It's just something that happens to us every single round we come up against these pistols. But getting that opener on Shocks, that's going to help them out. But the bomb has been left down the bottom of mid. They're just hunting for the kills right now.
There it is, okay. He decides to go for the repeat MSL. So after confirming that you know, there was at least a man in pit, he decides to go ahead and risk his life. Gets dropped down to 4 HP. Flash atop Banana, and now the push can begin. They can just go storming onto this site. No reason to stop. They've got the smoke to block off CT, and that should be it. It's all on Scream now with the 5-7 up close. And he's not going to get the first headshot. So that was all that had to happen at that point. They even sacked MSL, leaving him behind to catch the rotator. Very well done. Very clean round from Dignitas. A good call in the end. Sometimes you just have to show that no fear kind of approach. Just get the job done, get in there.
Great information gathering at the top of A as well. Just everybody's like, yep, there they are. Okay, let's hit B. There's going to be minimum 2 people there.
Well, you know, if they're
Maximum,
low
sorry.
as well, right? If you've got that man advantage, B side is always an attractive proposition. Just because either they're risking it and they have those 3 on A like we saw there, or, you know, even if there's 2, you've got a full team. If you just run at them.
Smith's taking a disagreement with a plant pot there. Would it be? Didn't like the look of it. Cut of his jib. MSL's going to chase this one. Got to be careful he doesn't run into a trap. But it's going to be instead Smith that's going to get pinned just behind the post there. MSL going to go for the wraparound in existence now. He realizes what's coming. He's backed away into construction, but unfortunately that leaves Scream to face 4 members of Dignitas as they come around that corner. And now they have control. Shocks and RPK forced to come from Banana, and this is going to be a very tricky chance for them. Yeah, they're realizing they're probably just going to hope they can catch somebody as they push on them. RPK not going to work out. Rubino will catch him, and Shocks will fall. So there we go. Dignitas do pick up the 3 rounds from the pistol. That's what they needed. Now the real challenge comes. What will they do against G2 now they have rifles? Hana Zeus as well for RPK. What
Miss by.
Yep.
That's a costly miss by. He's not going to be too pleased
No.
about that. That might have been a kit. So, oops.
Yeah,
from
there's
RPK.
nobody else has a kit. There must have been. Oh dear, man. Okay, well let's see if it doesn't cost them the round. They'd actually 4-stacked it on A site. Something G2 read into this one. They've boosted. I think they've boosted RPK on towards. Yes, they have boosted RPK onto quad, and that's just left Scream all alone. And I guess Shocks has gone so deep down the bottom of mid. Quickly pumps straight down. Rubino gets himself a check on there. Shocks and Smiths decided to face it. But Existence should be able to catch them out. They've got a double crossfire. Nicely done. Chasing onto Shocks, and Existence pops out. And, well, we wondered what Dignitas could do against these rifles. Now they're in a 4-on-2, so they've got a lot to do.
That was really, really scary for Smiths. Like, he just negated all the advantage that Shoxy got by peeking in there and taking that fight and dying. So luckily, Existence steps up to the plate. He catches MSL, you know, trying to call for it. Okay, you know, pounce on him, go at them, go aggressive, and try and press on that kill. Luckily, Existence is able to capitalize on that. Otherwise, it would have been a bit of a nasty situation there for G2. Now, yeah, with the 2 remaining players here for Dignitas, one of them heavily tagged, this should be a situation that G2 can lock down. They aren't exactly in, like, crossfire positions over on A site. It's an interesting choice. Yeah, I mean, Rubino, as you point out, he does have a Molotov to check that angle there on Shoxy. But it's more of a concern that they just aren't there. Look at that. They're on opposite sides of the site, so they can't support each other. So it's just like, you know, Dignitas, they can just walk in here.
Throw the molly! Throw the molly! Why did you not throw the molly? Rubino, it happened to be that Tensky was checking that side and Rubino was checking the other. Rubino was one with the molly. So what? Okay, well, yeah, I guess you save it for pit. That's the only other option.
Save it for pit or the after plan, I guess. Maybe you were really trying to get fancy.
But in a 4-on-2, you got to just, I guess, risk it. That's what they try. But anyway, it's one of those horrible times when you die with those things that just could have helped you. But it's obviously we have the benefit and knowledge of X-ray and seeing exactly what is coming. Shock's going for the peak. Doesn't manage to get a glimpse of Tensky, who was down there in tunnels. They had triple stacked over on B, but Smith has rotated back around. Still no sign of an AWP. I don't think anyone could afford it on G2. Possibly Shox could have passed one off, but not sure if Smith really fancies it. This is one of the maps where often you'll see teams just not go for AWPs because of the amount of smokes.
Yeah, the smokes, and also just there's like a lot of choke points that are just very narrow, right? Unless you can just hold off top banana like Fallen likes to do, it's really tough to actually make good use of an AWP on the map. You have to be a little bit of a specialist. Fallen, JW, you know, those types of oppers.
Yeah, Kenny. Well, I remember Kenny holds that pretty much that slim angle every single time from Arch, and does get caught out by it. Shox doing what Smiths couldn't, and gets himself a quick and easy triple.
Yeah, he even got body blocked there by his teammate, so making life a little bit more interesting there for Shoxy.
Classic blocking in the doorway.
You're only going to get 2 Shoxy. I'll get the 3rd. You just soften him up for me real quick.
Scream's going to get a great little peek here. This is going to work so well for him. Rubino's got a nade in his hand. There we go. Catches him as soon as he throws the smoke. Thank you very much. Gets himself a second. Not a headshot in the last one there. Surprising. Not going to be happy with statistics on that one. But 14-6 is the score. Dignitas, buy what you can, guys. That's about all you can do now.
Yeah, man. Shoxy is just going crazy right now, too. 27 kills for him. He's just hogging them all. Existence has got 6, RPK 9.
That's why RPK was trying to block him.
There's just no room.
He's like, bro, give me some of those kills.
Shoxy does not believe in sharing. Oh, no, yeah. And now it's just a straight-up 4 spot here from Dignitas. Bit surprised to not see them be going. You know, I thought that they were just going to try and go for, like, the all-out aggression. But it looks like they want to charge into apartments instead. Get out to short, perhaps? With the Tech 9s, if they could catch somebody out close, this could be interesting.
He's going to try and push on through. Smith is watching the angle. Smith is over on Arch. They're going to try and push him. No, they're going to back up until light. Smith is going to get himself tucked into the library. The flash doing this work and stopping Dignitas in their tracks. They have to move as one with these Tech 9s to try and get their speed advantage. Smith is going to be hearing the footsteps saying, Existence, they're coming your way. He's just tucked around the corner of Speedway. Manages to take his advantage, and Smith's still not flushed out at all and manages to pop out. Takes Kiebi down to just 8 health there. Scream's going to be in a perfect position. Has to just spray. Flashed up nicely. Yeah, he was in a perfect position until the flash came through. And then Existence now. Okay. This has suddenly become tricky, but Existence gets himself the one. Can't get the second. But the bomb's still not planted. And that's going to cause a problem because now Tensky's all alone.
1v2, there's an incendiary on RPK as well, but now they're just going to be able to step through. The raid boss is there. Shoxy just holding that angle. He's actually just decided to let RPK go in there and take the fight straight up. He's like, I'm not going to back you up, bro.
You need kills? You blocked me the last round? You go get it yourself.
Go ahead and do it. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead and do it. You know?
Shox has had a really good week, actually. It was, I remember it was on Train, was it, against, who was it they were playing the other day? So last weekend, he had pretty amazing rounds as well. I think it was NIP they played the other day. I don't know. I'm going to have a quick look at that one. I can't think who it was they played on Sunday. He was having an amazing game. I'll just talk to myself while I try and figure this one out.
Yeah.
Obviously they played mouse sports. It wasn't that game. Envy. There we go. Envy of Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro on Train, yeah. They lost that game, actually. He played brilliant, but they lost the game.
Shox has actually been looking pretty good. Yeah, you're right.
Scream as well, yeah. Good game for them, but either way, 15-6 match point. G2 pretty much cruising on this one. It was a 12-3 first half. Could have been a 13-2. It was kind of just a bit of recklessness from G2, really. Just having fun in the final round of the half more than anything. They kind of knew they had control. And Dignitas, as you can see, just a mishmash. A quasi-buy, I believe, is the phrase you would coin for this one. No, we haven't got that old bug back.
It's been a while since
we haven't seen that for a long time. I can't imagine what's going to happen next.
Is it really?
I don't know. I mean, it's either that or it's just gone.
Because this is lasting pretty long, actually. Longer than it usually does, isn't it? Usually it's like, you know, it'll pause for like 4 or 5 seconds and then pick up again.
It might be one of those moments where you just think,
test.
Well, GoTV actually gone down. If I'm looking into
Rip GoTV.
Yeah,
maybe
Rip
that's
GoTV.
what's going on here.
That's a well. There we go. Yeah, GoTV went down. Brilliant. Love it. Love it. Well, I'm pretty sure I know what was happening there. I'm pretty sure it ended up 16-6. There you go. We're going to try and rejoin it, but it's just going to come on to us instead. How you doing, boys?
You do that. Yeah.
Pretty sure it's 16-6. Mine's reloading right now.
I'm pretty sure the
that was-
Dignitas aren't too happy right now.
Yeah, now we're going to go into Overpass, and that's... I mean, they lost 16-3 to Navi on Overpass yesterday. Yeah, it's done and dusted.
All right. So, So, I mean...
We'll never know whether
I
Shoxy
think-
hit that 30 bomb or not.
No, I just wonder if it was that round, that the clutch round between Shox and Config, if that just completely tilted Team Dignitas off the server. Because that was early enough where they could have had an impact if they'd have won that round.
Or the fifth round?
Fourth or
somewhere
fifth,
around
yeah, fourth or fifth. They would have. I mean, they would have reset G2's economy. They would have been able to take control from there and actually, develop their own economy. Looks much better. And unfortunately, it's just like they probably just like all face palmed so hard that their eyes were watering for like the next 10 rounds. Right? They just couldn't see straight what was going on the screen. Like, I don't know where he's coming from. Oh no, I'm dead. Oh, I think I'm dead. Right? And then G2 obviously no mercy. So there you go. First map was very disappointing.
Very disappointing. Let's hope the second one isn't. Let's go to the analyst to try and talk us through that disappointment.
Indeed, disappointing for Dignitas. We ended this segment prior to that map saying that Dignitas' only real shot in these two best of ones was going to be on this map in particular. It didn't go that way. I'm going to start with you, Lauren, because you had faith in Dignitas. So what did you pull away from that game?
They're bad at the moment, aren't they? No.
I was sitting there like, she's finally said it.
No, it's the thing is that they seem to fluff every single gun round. Yeah. They seem to never be hitting their shots. They were playing the exact same setup that they had previously. I literally wrote down the spots they were sat in, and it's exactly the same. They still have the same mid-aggression. For a team that's meant to be going back and working over these issues, you didn't see any of that, which is a little disappointing.
Okay.
The pistol rounds weren't bad,
Oh, Lauren Silver Lining Scott.
That sums up my life right now.
Yeah. Well, they won the pistols. They looked all right in the pistol rounds.
Yeah.
But no, they got outclassed, outdone. G2 are playing well.
Shox in
trading,
particular,
yeah,
right?
it's like Shox on the lurk in this map, and every role he plays, he didn't even have to play that sort of role. He was just on point. And it's, if you play the same positions, if you sit there and make it easy for them, then sure, of course G2's going to hit the shot. So, yeah, I don't know. A little disappointing in Dig that they didn't provide anything else or bring anything more, because I kind of hoped they'd maybe pull a little more through in that, but it just seemed very lackluster from start to finish.
And Helvorce, what's something that you said just off air when we were watching the game go down, is you suggested that they're doing the movements, they're in the right places, but they can't seem to convert them into kills. Like, they're doing a lot of damage, just can't seem to finish the job.
Yeah, you had I saw the one round on the CT side where they were playing the double stack on quad side, for instance. MLCL, pretty much the first thing he does that round is dink up 2 players. And Rubino managed to get 2 other kills. So you have 3 men left on G2. 2 of them were down to roughly 15 HP or lower. Yeah. And that's when you see Config kind of just make a bit of a mistake from the pit area. Obviously expecting someone to push further or actually get around down towards pit. But still, like, Dignitas has several opportunities where they do a ton of damage, but they actually don't convert on it properly, or they're not committed to just downing that one player because they get greedy and want more. You could say Tenski's round in Banana when him and Kirby, again, played aggressively like they pretty much did every round.
How many times did they get punished for that? Anyone want to count?
I lost count after a while. So you had Tenski, I think it was Shox and RPK who was left. No, Shox and Existence left in that round, and he ends up, instead of just committing fully to Shox and just getting him down and leaving Dignitas in a 2v1 situation, he tries to go for gold, misses out on both, just puts them into low HP, and both Existence and Shox finds a kill in that after plant.
It's like you remove, let's say, what Config did in that pistol with the Tech 9 as well, then this has been even a more drastic scoreline that I think would actually represent how most of the rounds went down.
Yeah, and I mean, that kind of speaks volumes. 16-6, and we're actually sitting here saying it could have been a lot worse for Dignitas. And it certainly could get a lot worse into our next map, because we have to talk about that later. We've got to talk about Overpass coming up next. Dignitas already conceded a loss yesterday. It was 16-3 versus Navi yesterday. Let's see if they can do better than that one. We are going to do it after the break. Don't go anywhere.